At some point in our lives, I'm sure, we've all wanted to take care of a puppy. And as little kids, if you did get that desired puppy and you were like me, you had a really hard time taming it and it just made a mess everywhere. So as an adult, when I decided to adopt a puppy, I knew that I wanted to invest the time to train it properly. And that is precisely what I want to talk to you about today. How to train your dog to follow basic commands. Why is it important to train your dog? What are the tools you're going to need? And what are the steps to follow? First, why is it important to train your dog? The Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or the RSPCA, says, and I quote, that training is important because it provides mental stimulation which helps keep your dog happy. They also support reward-based training because it not only provides positive reinforcement, but it positively enhances the relationship between dog and handler. It is imperative to mention that they also speak against physical punishment because it can not only aggravate the problem that they're being punished for, but they can also grow resentment and fear towards their handler and attack them at any given moment. Training your pet also helps them with their social skills, so you can prepare them to interact with other dogs or humans without having him jump at them. And if you're like me, a pit bull mom, people can misunderstand your dog's excitement and perceive it as an attack, which is certainly something you don't want. Lastly, we all want our pets to be trained because it makes our lives a whole lot easier not having to clean up after them all the time. Now that we've covered why it's important to train our pets, we're going to go over the tools you need to do it properly. According to Vet Street, there are 7 tools you need to start training. In my opinion, these tools are recommended and not required. I personally didn't use a lot of these tools when training my puppy, but you can always use all of these tools and they can be certainly a great aid. First, you're going to need a clicker to mark the desired behavior. You also want to use a target stick, which is precisely what it sounds like. It's a stick that helps you train your dog to follow commands like walking next to you or bowing or spinning. Or if you don't want to invest on a stick, you can always use what I used, which was hand signs. You're going to want to invest on a good leash and a good harness. You will need a leash and a harness to train your pet to walk properly and being able to control them. Choosing the right harness is important because you don't want to rely on your collar to pull on your pet because you don't want to strangle them. You want to choose a harness that pulls either from the back or from the chest. You also want to use treats or toys to use as motivation and as a reward. You're going to want to have a barrier, which can be either a crate, a gate, or a playpen, in order to contain your pet in a desired area if you do wish to do so. The last tool you're going to need, in my opinion, is the most important. It is your voice. When training, you want to use an authoritative voice, different from the baby voice I'm sure you use when showering your pet with kisses and belly rubs. Voice is important because the tone of voice is what animals pick up on and how they know to communicate with us rather than the words we use. Now, having all the tools that you need, I'm going to show you how to execute a command. It is important to remember that they're not going to get it right on the very first try and that patience is key. To help me demonstrate, I have with me today my 2-year-old pit. His name is Mauro. Mauro likes all things food and is highly motivated by treats, which is why his incentives have always been treats over toys. I'm going to instruct Mauro some basic commands, and when he gets them right, I'm going to reassure him with a yes or a good boy in order to have him stay in position. It is important to say yes rather than repeat the command because then they're going to get confused or they're going to think they're not getting the command right. You also notice that I use specific hand signals for specific commands. These hand signals can be anything you want them to be, as long as you keep them consistent so that your pet can relate the command to the hand signal you're signaling. Mauro, come here. Mauro, sit. Good boy. Shake. Shake. Mauro, shake. Good boy. Now down. Mauro, down. Stay. Good boy. Play dead. Mara, play dead. Yes, good boy. Wait. Okay, go. And that is how you get your dog to follow basic commands. So with that, I have shown you why it is important to train your dog to follow commands, what you need to train them, and what are the steps to follow. I hope you have found this helpful and that you can successfully train your future puppy.